StarTropics notes. This has various things that I might easily forget listed in it, so hopefully this will be good enough. All right. Begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. All right. So welcome to StarTropics. This game is a kind of peculiar combination of various ideas. The onset here looks like a Final Fantasy sort of game, but it'll look very much not like that pretty soon. So outside of battle, this game plays like a adventure game that uses an interface like a Final Fantasy sort of game. In battle, however, it is a top-down isometric platformer thing where actually forget if the little kid there is needed. I'll look at my notes to see if I do. Looks like I do not. Need the red girl, but not the blue kid up there. Alright. So, there's a lot of weirdness to the play control in dungeons. That all stems from the fact that this game uses a tile-based movement system. And the game extensively leverages that in order to do various strange puzzles that are rather unlike puzzles you'll find in pretty much any other game. So you can see here, for example, I need to step on one of these tiles as I jump around in order to eventually cause a button to appear, which I then jump on. All of these square tiles must be jumped on. I cannot step from one to the next by walking, even if they are adjacent, which oftentimes they aren't anyway. Generally speaking, my character is invulnerable while he is jumping. Let's see, how exactly do I do this? I think I go here? No. I need to go to the left side, but let's see, how do I even get there again? Yeah, so these let me go into this. Ah, there we go. Got it. That was a much longer delay than it should have been for me to remember how to get to the top side. The chest cannot be avoided. Alright, this fire stick thing has a short range, but it is still a range. It also does more damage than the yo-yo. Okay, I do have to kill everything. For some reason I thought I only had to kill the snakes there. Speaking of snakes, I'm waiting for it to hurt me. Whenever it attacks, it opens its mouth. Please attack. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Do I have to be not moving for it to attack? There we go. So, that enemy will one-shot me if I collide with its body. However, like many games, this game uses an invulnerability period after each time I take damage. So during that invulnerability period, I can just walk through the snake and avoid actually defeating it at all, which is pretty neat, and that's possible. So Babu there is too afraid to tell me about the big important thing that is eventually going to be the final bad guys of this game. I am a few seconds slower than before, mainly because it took me so long to remember how to get past that area. Also because the snake just decided not to attack me for forever. Okay, let's get over here. So I'm now in subsea. This ship is able to dive, but only under very, very specific circumstances. Let's see, do I have to visit the White Lighthouse? I do not, but that is the path I need to take to get to the island. Okay. There's some tunnels, and there's also some, like, underwater tunnels or something. So I do need to talk with this girl here. I'm going to sneeze soon, so watch out. Nope, looks like I'm alright. So, there's a hidden path back here. Similar mechanic there as with the Dragon Warrior games, I would say. No. Actually a little tricky to say no there. Most of the time when I'm going through text, I am buffering my inputs. No, I need to do this. So buffering just means I'm holding down the button before it is technically needed. But the game will process that button press then as soon as the button could be used. So that then is the way to do stuff, quote-unquote, frame perfectly. If that was perfect, I probably could have gotten there without having to wait for the cycle. And if you get down to it, I probably didn't even have to wait for the cycle regardless. But I don't have the confidence to not. Anyway, need to destroy the bats here. There we go. There'll be another area that looks a lot like this later. These octopi die in a single hit. The appearing and disappearing tiles, I invite you to not think too carefully about why jumping on that tile would result in my instantaneous death if the object is very, very slightly submerged still. There's a lot of things in this game that you should probably just not worry about like that. Okay, so my recollection is that I want to run all the way right here and then swing my bat, and I got it. Those guys will scatter if I don't get there immediately. The bat is not a commonly used item. Each time I go to a new area, all of the stuff I had from the previous area will be wiped. I have to start anew. Pretty much the only nice thing about the bat is that it swings all the way around me, like that. However, it's pretty inconvenient. Because it just takes so long to swing that its damage per second winds up being pretty low, despite the slightly higher damage per hit. Pretty soon here I'll be fighting a giant octopus. I will be using the snowman that I picked up from the chest. The snowman I can use while the game is paused in order to freeze the enemies. Since this guy will only make himself vulnerable for a rather short period of time. Oh, crap. So if I do this, I can... There we go. If I do this, I can defeat the octopus in just one instance of him dashing downward, which is generally faster than waiting for him to choose to come down twice. Or more, depending on if you actually get the attacks correct. Rapid fire attacks with a yo-yo, which, yes, my primary weapon is in fact a yo-yo. But rapid fire attacks with a yo-yo are generally achieved by, like, pumping the button is kind of how it works. So the goal is, during each yo-yo swing, I let go and then start holding the B button again. And then as soon as the next swing starts, because of buffering, I then repeat the process. So at this point, I've rescued the dolphin kid, so now I can go to the next area. I split once the next text box shows up for the next chapter. So at this point, a storm that we are not shown hits, and we are now without Subsea for a while. We need to get Subsea repaired. This guy will provide a heal. If I were, like, super good at this game, I'd probably skip the heal, but given that this is my, what, third speedrun, I anticipate that I will save more time by having that health than time I lost by picking it up. Hello, Zoda Stone. And anyone else who happens to be lurking around. Alright, so dodos here have 2 HP. Ah. They're also pretty annoying to approach diagonally, because they can turn on a dime. Nope, I always forget which button it is. They can turn on a dime, whereas your character hesitates for about half a second or so. It's really quite long before turning. Alright. These monkeys are annoying. Having the bola usually makes things faster, I think. If things go perfectly, then it wouldn't matter. I will need the bola again later, but as you can see, I will have access to it before then. And I forgot I actually do need to kill the snakes. I probably should have picked up the hearts there. It probably doesn't matter. Yeah, so the problem I hit there was that the dodo and the ostrich stacked on top of each other. And you can only hit one enemy with the yo-yo per attack. So this does mean I'm going to have to heal again, but I will note that if I had not healed before entering here, I'd probably be dead. Healing outside of combat is unfortunately pretty slow. In some dungeons, you can heal up really quickly by picking up packs of hearts that the game will put down. Okay, so that girl there asks you whether she or another girl you met before was the cuter one. And in order to progress in this story, I have to tell her that she is cuter than the other girl. But I need to talk with this guy first. I've got this bad feeling I missed someone in, like, the southwest corner. Yeah. Oh, no, I think I did talk with her. Alright, there we go. So I need to talk with a lot of people in a lot of these towns. There's just some subset of them that you have to talk to before people will let you through. In this instance, for example, I had to talk with basically everyone in town before I was able to talk with the chief and find out that the chief's daughter is currently in a coma or something, and we're going to need to find a magic spell to cure her. And in order to make that happen, we arbitrarily have to see that she is in fact sleeping first before we leave. After that, we'll have to go through a whole bunch of shenanigans in order to eventually make our way to the top of some mountain where there's a mystic that knows a spell that will help. This chapter, by the way, is extremely annoying. Both of the previous chapters may have left you with the impression that every chapter was going to end with one dungeon. Not so. This chapter here has like 6 dungeons, depending on how you count, because some of them are like really short. Like this one here is pretty short also. Okay, there we go. I was not going to make it there, and I wound up taking a hit anyway. So these guys I can fight just by attacking them if I hit them head on when they're alone. I can also deal with them when they're winding up. Oh, right, it takes 2 hits. I don't know why I thought it was only 1. Okay, just run straight through, jump up, left, left, up, and then the rest is obvious. I don't remember if I even need that slingshot. Probably going to be convenient, though. Oh, wow, really short range on this. Would have been better off with the bat. Oh, and that wasn't even how I got through that room. Okay, whoops. I think we're going into a lava area here. This will happen again in a later area too, I think. For now, we're just going to be here for a little bit. I have some enemies that are shooting in my general direction here. Most enemies that do this kind of follow the same pattern where they're only allowed to fire their projectiles in certain angles. It's fairly flexible, but it is not completely flexible. You'll notice I skipped Ebola there. I'm about to go against a boss, but it is not a boss where weaponry is at all relevant. Against this battle, I simply... Oh, crap, I forgot to press a button. There we go. And I stepped on that, so I'm probably dead now. I had to jump, and I jumped onto a spot that I shouldn't have. If I had simply stayed still, I would have been okay there. Oh well. At this point, I'm actually better off taking another death. There is a stopwatch around here somewhere. I forget where exactly. Okay, that heart drop's going to make things a lot easier. What I really should have done last time was just take the time out to replenish 1.5 hearts. I didn't, and I got burned for it. So I'll go ahead and do it this time. There's the hearts. So, despite being in the middle of a giant lava region, the boss here chooses to be in the only water-filled spot in the whole place. So, yeah, that means I can defeat him by dunking him down. Alright, got it. And man, it takes him a long time to go splash. Kind of a Wild E coyote thing there, where he just kind of hovers on the air before going down, except it's not even necessarily in the air. I mean, I guess it must be. It kind of looks like he's already submerged in the water, but he's obviously not. I don't really understand how any aspect of most of these bosses work. And I don't think that's particularly important either. So, the next place I need to go to is Shikola, which is that castle over there. Before I go there, though, I am first going to grab a big heart. Your maximum health will increase from chapter to chapter regardless of whether you actually picked up the big hearts you could have picked up along the way. So because of that, picking up big hearts is generally more important because it's an opportunity to get a heal on your current health rather than trying to keep up with a high maximum health. I think I'm at... No, okay, I do restart at 3 lives. Doggies move very quickly once they see you and activate. And by doggies, I mean these skeleton 4-legged things. There's a lot of really annoying stuff going on in this dungeon that will not actually be a problem so much. Ah! Whoops. Kiting enemies is more difficult than it should be. Because when you try to step away, sometimes you will not move. Whenever you step away and then try to turn back, Ah, that didn't actually work the way I wanted it to at all. But yeah, if you're in between... this is not correct. I need to go this way. If you're in between tiles, you can make a 180-degree turn instantaneously. I was trying to do this and failed. There's some healing to the right. I'm going to go ahead and take it. This particular dungeon is really confusing if you don't know where to go. There's a lot of exits. Like this stairway right here, if I went through that, I would be booted from the entire dungeon and I'd have to do the whole thing over again. However, the slug there was covering up the shadow from a tunnel. I've now gone through that tunnel and now everything should be alright. If you're like right next to a targeted shooting thing, it will not shoot. So I am going to unfortunately take a rather significant detour here because I just have not done the requisite homework to practice the blind trek through the dark room. So instead I am going to pick up the light. You have to go through a fairly straightforward tile puzzle. But you have to do it in the dark if you want to be fast. Taking damage there is unpleasant. And the light here doesn't even last very long. So I'll have to light it again, okay. Jazz Hands mini-boss here. I need to defeat 2 of these things to progress. And their health resets if I fail to 100% to defeat them in a given cycle. Which means I have to get close first and then start then start dodging their attacks and hitting. If I try to be dodgety first, it generally doesn't work out. Unlike the ostriches, these doggies are unable to jump over water, so that's one little advantage I have. A surprise they throw your way here is that these mummies are allowed, if they feel like it, to walk across the tiles that you have to jump on. Most enemies can't do that. There we go. If you don't have any glow stick left to reveal the ghosts, and you can't hurt the ghosts unless they are revealed, even if you know where they are, they just don't take damage. But yeah, if you are out of glow sticks, then you have to go left in order to pick some up. Unfortunately, they both charged me at about the same time, so I'm not sure that there was anything I could have done to avoid damage there. Maybe if I jumped at the last second, I would have had enough time, I'm not sure. Picking up this mirror thing is mandatory, otherwise I can't fight back against these dudes. I was a little late on my first mirror deployment. The mirror does take a little bit of time to put in front of you, and then it stays in front of you for a preset amount of time. There's a lot of traps of strategies that seem like they should work when you're fighting against these sorts of slow guys. There's several enemies like this in the game. But as long as you don't pick one of the strategies that doesn't work and you keep enough distance, you should be able to survive. This is an optional trek here. It will, however, give me all my health back, which I probably need. Oops, wrong way. So hello again to everyone in chat. I think more people have filtered in since the last time I've said hi. Tried to move down and then block, but didn't quite do it right. Oh, there's apparently still a Wizrobe. We call these guys Wizrobes for obvious reasons. If you're out of glow stick, again, you can pick it up via some hidden button here. So there's a boss that was hidden up there. Whenever he gets low on health, he will eventually speed up. However, at that point, I think he he stops ever stopping, which actually makes his motion more predictable and therefore makes him easier to hit, in my opinion. Although you're less likely to get many hits in a row. Now, I've jumped here a few times. I'm actually curious if I'm allowed to jump upward here, and if so, if I just die. That would be totally in line with what this game usually does. In my casual playthrough of this game, just jumping into pits was, I think, the most common way for me to die. The basic cause for that is that the inputs for jumping in one direction but attacking in a different direction while you're in the middle of that jump, which is a really good strategy that you want to do in a lot of cases. The inputs for that are rather picky, and if you screw up slightly, you'll wind up jumping in the direction you were trying to attack. Another common cause is just if the game isn't clear about what's there, and then you wind up just jumping into nothingness whenever it looks like it's fine. The timing on a lot of the sections of appearing and disappearing ground is also rather picky. And again, I'm a little perturbed by the fact that jumping onto a tile that is currently, you know, perhaps 3 inches underwater instantly murders you. I don't understand how that is even possible. Anyway, time for us to play Tetris. Or, I guess, meet with the queen. This queen's throne room is really, really narrow. I don't know who designed that one. So anyway, I need to talk with this person before heading out, in order to learn that not only must I jump 10 times, I also must say abracadabra in order to cross the upcoming bridge. As I learned in my previous run, the NES is not kidding around. If I don't say abracadabra, the whole game just crashes. Okay, I'm betting that's not consistent, but that is actually what happened last time. I goofed around and said something that wasn't abracadabra. This time I will say it. Abracadabra! There we go. And while it was trying to do this bridge appearing animation, it just crashed. So that was pretty silly. There we go. That's a lot of stars. Wow. So I have just obtained a sweet new toy. It is the Morning Star. It deals double damage from my previous weapon, and it also has this little thing that shoots out an extra distance, kind of like sword beams in a Zelda game. I think I need to go down to here. Yeah, there it is. And one more. There we go. Easy peasy. So that dungeon is basically just there to get you acclimated to how the Morning Star works. Or Shooting Star, or whatever it is. So the Shooting Star there, in order to use it, I need to have at least 6 red hearts. So if I take 2 points of damage, I will lose it at present. So long as it is active, because it does literally double damage compared to what I had before. Oh gosh. So the problem there was that they were both flanking me there. I can handle one or the other flanking me, not both. I probably could have just gone for it and it probably would be okay, but... My recollection is that the extra stuff in the chest there is totally not worth it. I don't remember what it is, but I remember being thoroughly disappointed whenever I took the time out to pick it up once. So these are tiles that will disappear as I step on them. That star drop almost killed me. Because picking up the star... Oh, that's right, I have to go over here. Forgot about that. I think I have to kill the... Yeah. Little swamp monster thing, except it's in lava, so it's a lava monster, I guess. Kind of a complicated procedure if you want the hearts there. Oh no! I tried to jump and then attack while jumping, but I screwed up the input. So I wound up doing the attack while on the ground, which meant I wasn't in the air at a time I definitely needed to be. No, that's not what I want. I wanted to go up, but I guess that's... activated from here? Yeah, there we go. And going up at all, I think, is the optional choice. I think this gives me hearts. Or not. Okay. Yeah, I must have had my memory mixed up with a different... Yeah, at this point, I think I'm actually better off just dipping in the lava. This does bring me down to 1 life remaining, so if this does not go well, then my run is in trouble. I still don't have the Morning Star here. No, wait, I think this was the optional direction I need to go right. Yeah, this was the side that gave me the health. Okay. This is where I was trying to go last time. Oh, right. Well, that sucks. In some rooms, you just need to kill a certain subset of the enemies rather than having to take them all out. That there obviously was one such room. So unfortunately, this does mean that I'm not operating on full HP at the moment. The ostriches hesitate a while before jumping. I didn't know that kappas lived in lava, by the way. I find that surprising. I thought they were in, like, rivers and stuff. Oh. Well, that didn't go great. Well, it gave me an extra heart, at least. The long chains of quickly disappearing floor tiles on water or lava are nearly impossible to get through consistently if you don't know about the buffering system. If you're trying to mash the button to jump as fast as you can, the timing is sufficiently tight that you will often just die. At this point, I'm just going to jump in the drink. Can't possibly get through this area with just 1/2 heart starting. Honestly, 3 isn't that much better, but it is better. Okay, at least I'm advancing further. I have to fight some frog things here. The other speedruns I've watched stay in that center tile to take out the kappas. I'm not exactly sure if there's a reason for that, but I'm assuming there is something to do with getting the right ones to spawn. So this dungeon, by the way, does not actually have a boss per se. Instead, my goal is to reach a geyser, which will take me to the top of the mountain without bothering to actually climb it. I don't technically have to take this guy out if he cooperates, but he did not. Oh, right, that's incorrect. So that's just giving you a sneak peek of the... a sneak peek of the goal here, which is to make it to the geyser on the right side. The game does nothing to communicate that there is a hole over here that you can walk into, but there is. The game also does nothing to communicate to you that in this case, jumping in water will win the game instead of losing it, because in every other case, it loses you the game. Alright, well... there's a fair amount of cutscenes here, so in the end I'm probably going to be at like plus 550-ish. But considering I'm trying to save like 20 or so minutes on the run, losing 5 here still leaves me in potential big personal best territory, so I'm not abandoning the run for pretty much any reason here. Oh, I actually have to walk. Weird that they bothered requiring me to do that. Here we're in a cutscene. I don't know why they didn't have getting into sub-C be part of the cutscene too. Okay, I guess this cutscene was a little less long than I remembered. Here I need to get swallowed by a whale. The shape of the island and the place where you dock is rather suggestive in that way. Talking to that one guy mentions both Babu's existence in the area again. He's gotten up the courage to tell us about the evil space aliens. Which, by the way, they're evil space aliens. And then also mentions the whale, which we're now being swallowed by. My recollection is that I have occasionally accidentally talked to this guy twice. There we go. Yeah, because the end text box doesn't require an A button press to leave for some reason. So I need to find a lighter that this guy has somehow lost elsewhere in the whale's digestive tract. So we're going to use sub-C to swim through the whale's various things. I don't think this is right. No, it is not. Okay. No, it's here. I keep my screen a little on the dim side, which makes it hard to identify in this whale specifically. Which tiles are dark water versus normal water. This chapter is very short, and it actually does not include even a single dungeon. Unless you count this, which I personally do not. This here is a convenient shortcut to the area I would have gone to if I had gone left initially. So unfortunately, this is a case where we cannot claim that we didn't light the fire, because we did in fact start the fire. Yes, we did light it, and we didn't try to fight it. So, apparently Dr. J's been abducted by evil space aliens, and apparently... Yeah, I always forgot about this. There we go. The game will buffer your input on the first letter, and there's no going back, so I have to put in the full thing if I do that. Because for some baffling reason, they allow you to input asterisk as one of the numbers. Oh, a little late on that split. Surprised I picked up time in that chapter. Alright. Kind of a strange situation here. I am inexplicably landlocked in the middle of the sea. I don't understand how that works, but in order to get not landlocked, I need to sink a ship so my submarine can go over it. Sierra-style moon logic is in full force here. Not even the tiniest bit of sense is made here. Like, the thing that we're going to do to sink the ship... I would say that it's not clear that the thing that we do would sink the ship, but honestly, I'm not even sure what it is that we do. We cause a water wheel somewhere to turn, and then the ship just sinks. I would say for some reason, but I'm not convinced there is a reason. It just does. Yeah. So, in any case, as far as the dungeon itself is concerned, once I finally get there... Okay, who do I need to talk to here? Needs to talk to kid... No. Everyone except woman in the southeast hut. Okay. So, in order to get to the next dungeon, I'm going to need to get a password from a parrot, and then make use of musical knowledge to use an organ in the correct combination. Then once I finally use this in order to get to a dungeon, that dungeon is very Indiana Jones themed. By the way, this guy here, he wants to make sure that I keep this a secret. So in order to make sure he can trust me, he uses the extremely reliable method of just asking me if I can keep a secret. As long as I say yes, he tells me the secret. I don't think you ever actually get onto the ship either. Just suddenly you cause water to flow somewhere and then the ship sinks. I still have no understanding of it. I also still have no understanding of why this ship, whose bottom, by the way, you can very clearly see is like maybe 2 feet into the water, is somehow absolutely impossible for us to go underneath in a submarine, but is somehow possible for us to go over once it has sunk slightly in that shallow water and is now completely blocking the pass. Oh, wrong way. I forget how this works. I think I went the wrong way entirely. There we go. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 4, 1, 3. There we go. There is an opportunity to pick up some extra health here. I'm going to go ahead and do it. The traps in this dungeon are quite brutal, damage-wise. Some of them are instant kill, and of course the health won't help there, but there's a lot of spears, there's a lot of stakes that come out of the ground. Minor errors by me will result immediately in taking pretty large amounts of damage, so the 1 extra max heart, and then of course the initial full health are both going to help a lot here. There we go. The position of the one I have to take out is consistent there. Go ahead and take that 1 extra heart there. You can fill up on current health by causing a couple extra hearts to spawn there. So here we have a bunch of dart traps, very Indiana Jones style. That dart there is different from the ones prior where it will actually hit me on time. Those ball things hurt really bad if you let them hit you. There are a bunch of hidden holes in the ground here, and I need to use kind of a little network of tunnels that are technically visible, but not especially so, in order to get through. I think I just need the bat here, yeah. The green snakes here will dash if they are facing me, but otherwise they just kind of follow the edge of the room. There we go. I think I go up first, then down? No. Down first, then up. There we go. Nope, didn't get there in time. So this bowling ball, and I don't know why it's a bowling ball, but it very much so is, can be stopped momentarily by attacking it, but then it'll resume its motion. I do not know what drives its motion, but whatever. It certainly has that motion. These pirate guys hurt way more than the Wizrobes do, so I really want to make sure not to screw around with them. Because I'm on full health, I have the opportunity here to just go for it. Otherwise, I'd stock up before going forward here. Alright, that actually went quite smoothly. I don't remember this room. Okay, just dodos. Dodos are kind of old enemies by this point. So long as my shooting star is active, I can take it out pretty easily. That's not good enough. I was too slow in getting into position. Once again. Turning 90 degrees is really weirdly difficult to do here. Theoretically, it is consistent what sorts of inputs will cause you to turn, but in practice... Oh no, this isn't where I need to be. Do that. I want to say these guys will one-shot me if they actually manage to catch up. This should open a path north? No? Oh, okay. I was in... Okay, I didn't think it was this room, but it is this room. There we go. Thought there was another room north. Obviously not. Getting both balls going without getting hurt by them is profoundly tricky. If I take a hit, it's easier just to run with it. It's a lot of damage I've just taken. But I think we're very close to the end now. The big problem, though, is that... Okay, there we go. Now I have the Morning Star again. So, this red bowling ball, for whatever reason, turns to come back my way a lot quicker than the other bowling balls do. So having the ranged attack there really helps out. It's almost too early on that. I mean, I was too early, but I was actually so too early it wound up being okay. So here's the water wheel thing. Again, I have no understanding of what it is that the game is depicting us as doing. However, we are going to get some music, and then a cutscene, and then we'll be done with the chapter. Wow, I've done it. I thought the dungeon actually went quite well, so I'm a little surprised I'm losing time here. It's possible my split was late at the end of chapter 4 in the splits I'm going up against. Alright, so I don't exactly remember where all the... There we go. There are a lot of tunnels I have to go through here that... I mean, the ones that I dive into are clearly marked, but the ones where I just plow straight through an island, and I still don't understand how that works, but those ones... Oh, okay, here we go. Those ones only very rarely give you a little splash of water showing you their position. And I've not played this game enough times to have their exact positions memorized. So, there we go. Let's go straight down, and then this is the one I want here. Is this right? I don't think it is. I think it'll take me north. And then I don't think that's where I want to be. No, maybe it is. Like, yeah, I want to go south, but in order to go south, I need to do this weird business. Oh, I have just made a bad loop. Okay, so that was not correct. Oh dear. Okay, so do I in fact then just want to go straight south then? Yeah, okay, here we go. No, wrong one. So I'm, allegedly at least, tracking Dr. Jones's signal here. Some tiles will just kind of arbitrarily have me stop and find out how far away I am. Alright, well, we have the hardest dungeon here. One might even call it the darkest dungeon. And that's it. Doesn't even say, wow, you've done it. Two dungeons I need to deal with here. I sometimes get which aspects of the dungeons are in which one a little mixed up. This is a new game mechanic here where I can now, if I pick up one of these anklet things, then for the rest of the current room, but not elsewhere, I will be able to jump across 2 tiles worth of water rather than just one, as normal. Unfortunately, I took damage, so that does mean I do not, at this point, have the Morning Star, so... And I missed this guy on my way before. I don't know why I always miss that jump there as an option. Okay. I recall having some trouble in this area in my previous run. There we go. So doing what I did gave me a red potion, which gives me a whole lot of extra safety. Red potion can be used to restore up to 5 hearts. Kind of used like the snowman or the glow stick. Oh right, that's right. I just jumped straight into the drink. Apparently I can't pick that up if I'm flashing from damage. Also, losing the Morning Star means this fight is going to take a lot longer than it should. Jumped too early. I jumped at a time I probably shouldn't have jumped at all there. Again, the Morning Star does literally double the damage of the normal yo-yo. Only got 3 hits there, that was kind of embarrassing. This is unfortunately going to make things a lot slower. I was hoping that would be the death there, but it is not. Still not dead, sheesh. Whoops. Only had 1 hit there. Okay, well... we made it. Not in an ideal fashion, but we'll survive. Oh, I've completely forgot I even had a potion. That is my biggest problem with the potion. I just completely forget that I have it. It's not... the fact that I have it is written on a portion of the interface that I generally have no reason to look at. And that's kind of the core problem. Needs to hit this first to open the door. The door will remain open even whenever I leave and re-enter here. This high jump boots thing is what I call it. It's like a jumping anklet or something. I don't even know what an anklet is. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life, but apparently it's a thing. And by the way, I've got spiky shoes now, which, because my shoes are spiky, it enables me to jump arbitrarily long distances, which is great. And then hit each enemy exactly 1 time before returning to exactly where I started from. The fireballs from those torch things, pipes, I don't know. Anyway, those fireballs do like 2.5 hearts of damage or something absurd like that. I actually don't understand why sometimes some enemies will die faster than other enemies in the same... Just die. Oh dear. I mean, if I'm hitting each enemy exactly once, then why does that matter? Why do I not do the same amount each time? I don't really understand. Whatever. In any case, I've got this guy I need to do correctly, hopefully. Okay, that was pretty good. Wouldn't law enforcement use spike shoot? Oh, wait, no, actually, it's probably a bad idea because you would incidentally also hurt every other person in the area. Not just the person you're trying to apprehend. Taking a detour here for heart. Honestly, I probably could have skipped it this time since I actually ended the previous dungeon with most of my health. What's a JoJo? They need Mojo Jojo, the monkey. from Earthworm Jim. Alright, so one more dungeon here. This one is significantly sneakier than the dungeon I was just in. It kind of has an interesting thing going where it's going to give me... it's like 2 copies of the same dungeon for the most part. Except the second copy is harder because of subtle differences in how the layout of each room is put together. So, or sometimes it's not so subtle. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, let me just go this way. So this is a new weapon, and this room is specifically here to teach you how it works. I can press B a second time in order to make the weapon split into 2 parts, which go at 90-degree angles, so I can do stuff like that. And I want to say there's another supply of them. Yeah, I think this is the right way. The gray blobs there will not deal damage, but they will make me unable to attack for a while, which is supremely annoying. There we go. Easy peasy. I don't remember what's there. Oh, I should not need that. Game gives you access to a whole bunch of sweet stuff here. And I think the exit is the one tile I didn't hit. There we go. This is a checkpoint, so it's possible that this would wind up being the only... Surprised I got away with that. Those spike balls hurt hard. Theoretically, you can speed these up, these battles here up a little bit if you're not, like, near the center of the room, so they reach the wall faster, but I've found that that makes this way harder. And these guys are no joke in terms of their damage output. I also find the graphics to be extremely misleading in terms of... Oh, this is going to be a problem. Okay, mate. Oh, the other one hit me. Brilliant. Whatever. I should still be okay. My recollection is that the second room that with those things, I actually just need to exit left. Yeah. Don't actually have to fight them. Which is good, because fighting them would take kind of forever. I want to say extra pinwheels here. Yeah. I call them pinwheels. Apparently the official name is like asterisk or something. As you can see, these things hit pretty hard. With 2 of them on the board, it's it would require more practice than I've actually done to safely attack multiple at once with the Morning Star. One more boss here, actually. It is, again, a boss that is... See, there's a little secret thingy here. I want to get health. But for some reason I was unable to do anything there. I'm not sure why. Apparently I just don't remember how the room works. Yeah. So with the pinwheel, the fight is pretty much trivial. I don't even know if you can beat the guy without pinwheels. Maybe you can attack with the yo-yo from directly below. I'm not sure. I've never hit it with anything else, so I don't know if it takes damage from other weapons. So at this point, we're finally catching up with our uncle, Dr. J. Now you will talk about how the space aliens are trying to get 3 magic cubes. And at the end, he is going to offer to repeat everything he said. And I need to very specifically say no. Because otherwise he will, in fact, repeat everything he just said. And very soon here, I will be approaching the spaceship of the evil aliens. We're not given any reason or motivation for these aliens doing what they do. They just are generically evil because they're aliens in a NES game. So of course they're evil. I did practice this chapter and the next prior to streaming here. However, I didn't feel like I was getting any better at them. So, we'll see how this goes. There's a lot of mean things here. 2 worst are these pink jet bike things. They do nothing to alert you as to which direction they're going. Which direction they're coming from. They'll just slam you from wherever. Also, the green robots are wildly more difficult to deal with than the red ones, than the yellow ones. I'm actually just going to grab the hearts and run here. I am not going to try to kill any of the green robots in the next area. You can totally do that if you have to, but and I think it is easier in general, but it is much faster to just hope for the best. And it looks like it basically worked out. If you get body checked by one of those robots, things go very poorly. I'm going to the upper row first here, because if you're on the bottom row, then you'll get hit by more of the bikers, because they try to stay either on your level, or 1 level above, or 1 level below. Problem there is that Okay, I need to focus on the battle for a little bit here. Alright, that actually went really quite well by my standards. Okay. So, because the bikers try to go either on your plane or one below or one above, the bikers are not allowed to go below the bottom plane. So if you're lined up on the bottom plane, then you'll get 2/3 of the bikers coming your way instead of 1/3 is, I think, how it works. I can also cover either my front or my back pretty easily. It's not so straightforward to cover both directions, though, while also making forward progress. Yeah, first try 7-1 actually feels really good. Yeah, that dungeon is a mess. It is a ridiculous step upward in difficulty of the combat and action aspect of this game compared to everything that existed prior. Also, I now have another tier of weapon upgrade. Previously, I needed 6 hearts in order to have the shooting star. That is still in effect. However, I now also, and I messed that up. I needed one more shot. Okay. Go. I now also have a weapon that is 50% stronger than the shooting star. And notably, its weapon blasts go all the way across the screen. So that's really quite convenient. So far, this is going pretty well. It almost looks like my practicing did something, even though while I was practicing, it sure didn't feel like it. I am going to take a little detour here to pick up a lightning gun. I don't know if there's a different name for it, but that's what I call it because it shoots little lightning bolt things. It's the most powerful weapon. It does 4 damage, whereas the shooting star the supernova I just acquired is 3, which is also quite high, mind you. I should have just gone while I was still, when I just got hit by the other guy. Oh well. But the bigger part of this gun's awesomeness is the fact that it can damage things that are a little bit outside of your current vertical or horizontal plane. So normally your inability to handle things that are a little diagonally from your current position is one of the biggest challenges facing you in this game, just generally speaking. Whoops. Ah, oh well. It's more lightning gun here. Yeah, notice how much easier these things are to hit when I don't have to lock onto them exactly. Okay, this little puzzle here you can do fancily. You can just walk in between these things as they are changing their position and skip the intended solution, which is what I did right there. Just jump between them as they do their thing. Okay, so this guy is kind of annoying. What I think I figured out... Ugh. So yeah, if he does this charging thing, He seems at that point to ignore the damage I deal to him. I'm not exactly sure why or how, but whatever. I made it. You can jump a little early there, and as long as the thing exists by the time you land on it, it's okay. I'm not risking it on that. That's saving maybe half a second at the possible risk of losing, you know, 4 minutes. So, my runs are not yet at that level of refinement where I'd do such a thing. Path through this maze is not excessively hard. My notes basically just say, take the upper right path each time. So yeah, 0 deaths in Chapter 7 certainly is going to help out my time here. If I also get a 0 death Chapter 8, I could actually have my sub 140 right here, I think, in theory. Chapter 8, however, has a lot of nonsense going on, and a small mistake will require you to redo the entire thing. Because contact with Zoda is instant death. And basically the entire stage has to be repeated if you fall either intentionally or unintentionally into the so-called break room. Which happens if you stay on the tiles or walk onto the tiles at a time when they're open. The tiles right in front of the reactor. A little late on that split, actually. Sounds to me like this spaceship is powered by Dr. Wily technology. Here's Zoda. The only known defense against Zoda is sticking bananas in your ears, apparently. So I guess we do that automatically. And apparently we keep those bananas in our ears for the entire rest of the game, because there is some reference to that later. So these hands, if they spawn pretty close to me and then move in their longest possible path, then I just die and that's it. They will one-shot me. And they move faster than I do, so in the... yeah, it's death right there. Nothing I could have done about that. To my knowledge. Perhaps there is actually something I could do that I don't know, but as far as I know, if that hand spawns in that way, I just die and that's it. With literally nothing I could have done. There may be something I could do. But whatever it is, I don't know it. So the goal, by the way, is to cause Zoda to run out of eyeballs. Shooting him more times in an individual cycle will not cause him to eject more eyeballs. Okay, there we go. He is now out of eyeballs, so I can now leave the room. And that, by the way, was an illusion. Real Zoda will be met soon enough. I don't believe these shots were actually hitting the yellow guy here. They don't usually run that far away. You'll see me use the gun a lot here. Although the shooting star does more damage per shot, at range, the DPS of the The ray gun is a lot more, simply because the ray gun fires so much faster. Alright, so here's the reactor room. I don't think I actually hit that enough times. So, unfortunately... Yeah. Unfortunately, without taking an extreme strategy that involves standing on the bottom line there, if you are willing to do that, and you've practiced doing so, which I have not, but if you do that, you can actually get the reactor in, I think, one cycle. Otherwise, the timing of the opening of the tiles just gets in the way of doing it well. Okay, so time to fight Zoda. I'm gonna focus here. The basic strategy should be obvious. The important thing here is that as long as I'm close to him, he's not allowed to spawn his extra dudes. The extra dudes are what makes this miserable. We stop timing whenever whenever Zoda starts exploding. This is to account for... Ah, crap. This is to account for a situation where if Zoda spawns too few of those extra dudes that he creates over the course of the battle, then the game will... Ah, crap. I no longer have the shooting stars, the problem here. Oh no! Didn't realize he jumped that far. Oh well, have to redo the whole thing. There are no checkpoints here. This also means that game overing isn't really any different from taking a loss of life either. Yeah, that's rather disappointing. That was going to be a sub 140 if I did the Zoda fight right, but I did not, so... The important thing that I missed, I think, was I needed to... chase after Zoda. More quickly in cases where he jumped away. Okay, so let's try this reactor room again. Oh no! For unknown reasons, you are allowed to walk onto those tiles when they are open. but only when they are open. So, whereas I was attempting to jump onto it as it was closing, what it wound up having me do instead was just blunder straight into the hole. I do not know how to deal any damage on that particular opening there. I suspect that if my mashing is perfect, I can probably kill it on that cycle. As is, I'll kill it here, and that's fine. Or it's fine enough, I guess. I should probably actually pick up that gun. In an ideal fight, I should not need it at all, but I should not expect myself to have an ideal fight. At least I should not require myself to have an ideal fight, I guess I should say. He needs to be correctly lined up with the platforms in order to jump onto them. Alright, that's it. So, if Zoda spawns too few of the extra dudes, then the game will just suddenly abort at this point and go straight to the credits. To account for that, and the fact that achieving that is random, timing stops at damage on Zoda, rather than ending on the arrival of the end screen or finishing out the little epilogue here. I am going to finish off the epilogue here, but yeah, 1 hour 43 minutes. I mean, it's a significant personal best, obviously, and I think one more run here should probably be, at least is a reasonable possibility that I will find myself at the sub 140 goal that I had set for myself. So again, I'll get things to the credits rolling. I'll go ahead and let the credits roll, and during that time I'll get myself a little snack, and then it'll be time for the next run after that. Strobes, by the way. I don't know this game well enough to know when to put that warning out and when not to. So, for once, we wind up in not just, 3 inches of water, which is immediately lethal. Instead, we find ourselves in an actual ocean, which, of course, means we're totally fine. Not even the slightest bit of problem. Game doesn't explicitly say, but I suspect that's supposed to be the same dolphins from Chapter 2. That is not even the tiniest bit true. I don't think there's a single true aspect to that statement. So now the cubes do something, and then they become a bunch of kids from some previous conquest, a world that was previously destroyed by the evil space aliens. Clearly, the big problem is that the Argonians here just never invented a yo-yo, and therefore were unable to repel a alien invasion. All right, with that, I believe we are now on autopilot. I'm going to hit the mute button on the mic, grab myself a snack, and then once the credits are done, we'll hit the reset button and go for it again.